Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I want to talk to you guys about Anthony Joshua. You know, I just finished watching one of the best heavyweight fights in the last 20 years. The Lennox Lewis versus Vitaly Klitschko fight was at the Staples Center, and I believe in 2002. And it was a very good fight. Back and forth action. You know, Lewis cuts Vitaly, you know, on the left eye with a hard right hand, caught him perfectly, you know, with that punch. And eventually it was stopped, which I thought was some BS. But anyway, where I'm going with Lewis is Anthony Joshua states that his fantasy fight would be against Lennox Lewis. Now, that's funny. He said that recently, and he said it about a year ago, but he's recently said it again. So that may have something to do with all the shit talk that Lennox Lewis has been coming out of his mouth. So, you know, I can see, yeah, I would love a fantasy fight with him so I could go upside his damn head and punch him in the face. To this day. But, you know, I look at that fight and I look at Lennox Lewis, and he was 18 stones at that point. You know, was a really big Lewis, but he had a year layoff after knocking out Mike Tyson in the 8th round in Memphis. Okay. And Joshua fighting Lewis, and I looked at the fighting style Vitaly had, you know, and he had the jab and grab style, but he was more aggressive than Vladimir. I feel more entertaining, more exciting fighter, and he gave Lennox Lewis all he could handle. Lennox Lewis was still game, but you could tell had the ring rust, so that's a bad barometer for someone like Lewis. Let's put Lewis when he knocked out Tyson. That Lewis, the focused Lewis, the active Lewis, fighting AJ. Well, first off, both of these guys have great uppercuts. You know, I guess this is a fantasy. It's not Wednesday, but hey, you know, it's definitely a fight worth mentioning. You know, I feel that Anthony Joshua, I think he hits a little harder than Lewis, but Lewis is a hard thumping guy. I don't know whose right is. I think Lewis's right is heavier, and Joshua has a better left hook. And the uppercut, I just really don't know, because they both have very good left hooks. They're big guys, two big Brits, right? Going at it, 6'7", 6'5", right? And I would love to see it, but I think I'd have to give it to Lewis on that one. You know, because Lewis is a guy that can jab mid-range. He has a beautiful jab. He has a stiff, powerful jab. He can keep back any opponent, especially a taller guy. But he does have problems with taller guys. Look at Hasim Rahman. Rahman knocked that kid out. That kid. He knocked out Lennox Lewis in, what? In the 8th round? And I know it was definitely in Johannesburg, okay? Knocked him out in Africa. And so I know he has problems with bigger guys. Smaller guys he can take apart like Tyson, you know, but that, of course, that was Tyson past his prime. That wasn't the same Tyson of the 90s or the 80s, definitely. So so Joshua definitely has a shot if he puts together combinations, you know. And I just, you know, I was glad to see him go 12 rounds with Parker. You know, he did take out Pervectin, but the Parker fight showed me that his stamina was still there, and I think Anthony Joshua would give him a good fight, you know. And the funny thing about Lennox Lewis, he doesn't have an iffy chin; he has a weird chin, you know, because he took a lot of shots from Vitaly. Vitaly hit him with rights, uppercuts, left hooks, you know, and Lewis took all those shots. But certain fighters catch him right on the button. Boom. I give Lennox Lewis the Manny Pacquiao chin. You know what I'm saying? Because Manny Pacquiao is a guy that's known to have a good chin, the way he fights. But then you can hit him with a perfect punch and take him right out. So, but of course, I think that could be any fighter, you know. But no, I think that he would keep Anthony Joshua back with the jab, But Anthony has, you know, a pretty good jab of his own, you know, and I see how tight the defense of Joshua is at times, and he's going to definitely need it. But if he starts dropping that left hand, it could be trouble for Anthony Joshua, and I doubt he would do that with someone that tall and quick with an 84-inch wingspan, okay? So that's another factor. The reach. But yeah, I would love to see a fantasy match between Lennox Lewis and Anthony Joshua, you know, and may the best man win on that one. But I think Lewis would have too much in his arsenal of the experience. But one thing I have to add, Anthony Joshua's still learning, and he has 22 fights. Okay, so let that sink in. So before you guys jump down my back about, what do you mean that's bad? You know, no, you know, you gotta put all the issues and the facts on the table and then make a decision. You know, Lennox Lewis, of course, he has a weird chin. He can get caught with any regular right hand and be put out like he did in 2 separate occasions. You know, and or Anthony Joshua could be hurt too. You know, I just think that Lennox Lewis has too much in his arsenal, especially in his prime, for Anthony to deal with at this time, okay? I'm not talking about 5 years from now, guys. I'm talking about right now, all right? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this fantasy matchup between Lennox Lewis and Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been counterpunched. Peace.